بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين صلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله الطيبين الطاهرين ورضي الله عن أزواجه وذرياته وأصحابه وأحبابه والتابعين وعنا معهم برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Couple more days, I think. Inshallah, Allah Ta'ala make it easy for us, except from all of us. Probably Eid will be Friday, we'll wait, but that's what looks like. So we'll see what happens and what happens with the sites and all that. So just to preempt that, we're planning to do 3 salawat on Eid. Because it's Friday, we're going to do the first one at 7 sharp, the second one at 8 that I will do, and then the third one at 9. So if you are going to go to work or whatever it is and you need to leave early, come at 7. Otherwise the 8, otherwise the 9. Anyway, I mean, you know, hopefully in Eid we all try to take some time off. And we don't have to rush everything, because the whole life is rushing. And eventually it's going to stop. Eventually everything is going to stop. So I mean, maybe sometimes we take it easy, inshallah ta'ala. Another thing also, you see the Zakatul Fitr, we'll have them up until the Salatul Eid. It should be something that you do before Eid Salah. If you have relatives on your own that you know they need, give it on your own. Makes my job easier, our job easier, right? If you know people personally they need, Bismillah, give it and that's it directly. That's the best way you do it. Taban, the best would have been if we can actually take rice and dates and barley ourselves and take that and give it to the needy. We used to do that in the old days, but now it becomes just a bit of a problem. So you might want to do that as well on your own if you can. Other than that, make sure you calculate per person, obviously, even the newborns, inshallah ta'ala. One also, I want to thank everybody. Allah bless you yesterday. Most of the money was pledged, so we've always had this issue with the pledges. So those who pledged, please give. If you want to do it before Ramadan ends, that would be the best. This way, so we're able to sort of budget for the whole year and all that, because you know we depend on it for the whole year. So those who wrote pledges, please follow up with your pledge. If you can do it before Ramadan ends, it'd be actually wonderful, and Allah Ta'ala accept from you and all. And you still can give, still Ramadan is going on. Today maybe maybe a night also of the nights, I think, inshallah, one of maybe the last opportunities. We still have tomorrow. But so take caution again. Don't, just because the 27th passed, don't take things for granted. You don't know. Those of you are still waiting for signs, you might still get the sign. You never know, right? And tonight is one of those nights that you might get it as well, inshallah. So may Allah grant us the opening of Laylatul Qadr as well, and the barakah of Laylatul Qadr. Ameen ya Rabbal Alameen. Tonight and tomorrow. So 2 things, don't forget. Please do pray at least 2 rak'ah before you sleep. Right before Fajr, I mean. Obviously, most of us are sleeping and then waking up for Fajr and all that. So wake up just right before Fajr, right? And do the 2 rak'ah, inshallah, at least, if you're not doing more, even though you're doing the qiyam and all that, may Allah accept. Also, don't forget to the sadaqah, even if it's $1 or so, because it's still among the possible 10 nights. And if Laylatul Qadr did not happen yet, you still have 2 nights, inshallah, to put something so that you might hit the 1,000 months worth, inshallah ta'ala. Among the ayat, let me finish, that were recited, obviously, is the malaika alayhum salam, the angels. And obviously the angels are sinless. So there's a purity that the human beings have to work so hard to get close to. And when Allah Azza wa Jal was telling them, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa, that's when all the dialogues happens. Once it has to do with the Khalifa. Who is the Khalifa? And we've been waiting, fighting over the Khalifa until today. Who sits on the kursi? And we will fight over the kursi, even if it's a microphone. Ya Wallah, come take the microphone and let me rest and pray in the back. We still fight on the microphone, on the Khalifa. Who is on that Khalifa? From the beginning, the first time in the universe, Allah mentioned the word Khalifa, the angels immediately said, أَتَجْعَلُ فِيهَا مَن يُفْسِدُ فِيهَا وَيَسْفِكُ الدِّمَاءَ. You're going to put creation who will cause bloodshed and corruption. It seems that the Khalifa has to do always with bloodshed and corruption. إِلَّا مَا رَحِمْ. Except those whom Allah grants mercy. And from that point on, humanity has been fighting over who's the Khalifa, who is in control, who is in this, unfortunately. Lakin the point here of adab that I want to call our attention to, right? The point of adab. We've been talking the whole Ramadan that Islam is entirely adab. Adab, well-manneredness, right? Well-manneredness. That's the whole faith. When there's no well-manneredness, there's no point, really. Nothing else impresses, right? Well-manneredness tells you you are connected to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. No well-manneredness, you could be connected to Iblis because you know information, but there's no well-manneredness there. It was never about memorization, my dear beloved. It was always about internalization. Memorization was not the point. Never was. Never will be. Internalization, making a difference. That's what it was. And here in this country, we all are trying, as a community, as American Muslims, we're trying to make a difference in our lives and the lives of our surroundings. We're trying. I'm not saying we're there, but we're trying. And it's not easy. It's not easy to build a community. It's not easy to establish a community. It takes a lot of sacrifices, a lot of sweats, a lot of abuse. You know the stories that happen. And lots of people who are sacrificing. And usually takes few people who take the heat for lots of people. Allah says that in the Quran, by the way, that the few that actually do it for the rest. وَلَوْلَا دَفْعُ اللَّهِ النَّاسَ بَعْضَهُمْ بِبَعْضٍ. Had it not that Allah put some people, facilitated for some, to take it for the whole rest. لَهُدِّمَتْ صَوَامِعٌ وَبِيَعٌ وَمَسَاجِدٌ. You would have seen places of worship being destroyed, Al-Quran says. Had it not been for the few. So we all are trying, and I want to encourage us that spirituality that we built through Ramadan, please keep it because we need it. The next generation in this country need role models. And I know there's only one role model, but I'm saying relatively speaking. They need people who are well-mannered. More than just people who just utter the prayer. The prayer is extremely important, but that prayer needs to generate well-manneredness. That salah needs to generate well-manneredness. That siyam needs to generate well-manneredness. That zakah needs to generate well-manneredness. That hajj needs to generate well-manneredness. Not just for our own well-being, but for the next generation in this country if they want to hold on to the faith. Because today the struggle is on values. Nobody is paying attention to what theologically faith systems are saying. Most people don't even know their religion. The struggle is values, and we need to ensure that. And we need to try to be as Muhammadan as possible, inshaAllah ta'ala. The point I wanted to mention is when Allah Azza wa Jal told the Malaika, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun, I know that which you do not know. When they not objected, when they said, why would you make someone on earth your Khalifa, who will do bloodshed and corruption? And what did they say? وَنَحْنُ نُسَبِّحُ بِحَمْدِكَ. We're doing ibadah non-stop of you, O Allah. We're doing tasbih and dhikr of you non-stop. The idea is not that you do tasbih and dhikr non-stop. The idea is that your mu'amalat with each other, your dealings with each other is also a worship. The idea is when you have a choice, al-malaika do not have a choice to do wrong. When you have a choice to do wrong, you do the right. That's where you make a difference. You can do wrong, but you choose to do right. All right? So these things, Allah, when Allah told them, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun, I know that which you do not know. Look at the answer of the Malaika alayhim salam. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا. Glory to you, O Allah, we have no knowledge. We confess. As if it immediately pushed them to their reality. You know, you don't know. The only thing you know is what Allah taught you. So really, you don't know. And this is, if that's the Malaika, the angels, you know our reality. We don't know. We just don't know. What we know is what Allah told us and what the Prophet ﷺ walked. And that's our path of salvation and safety. قالوا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا. We have no knowledge except that which you taught us. So in these last 2 nights of Ramadan, inshallah, especially tonight, and you never know, maybe tonight is one of the nights, we ask Allah, like He instructed through the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna ya kareem. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna ya kareem. Allahumma innaka afuwan tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anna. Ya Allah, in these last days of Ramadan, that could still be Laylatul Qadr, Ya Rabbal Alameen. For those of us who did not catch the barakah and the opening and the illumination of Laylatul Qadr, Ya Allah, please give us that night before this Ramadan passes, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Ya Allah, our brothers and sisters who are here, forgive all their sins, Ya Allah. Grant us all tawfiq, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Grant us all barakah, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Give us barakah in our lives, Ya Allah. Barakah in our children, Ya Allah. Barakah in what we do, Ya Allah. Barakah in our ilm, Ya Allah. Barakah in our qira'ah, Ya Allah. Barakah in our work, Ya Allah. Barakah in our rizq, Ya Allah. And barakah in this dunya and the deen, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, we ask you and implore you and beg you, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, with all your names, Ya Allah, that we know and the names that we don't know, to grant us your pardon before this Ramadan passes, Ya Allah. To grant us afu kamil, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Forgive us entirely, Ya Allah. Even this Ramadan, Ya Allah, we did not do it the way we could have done it. So we ask you, Ya Allah, to mend that brokenness, Ya Allah, with your generosity, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, Ya Hayyu, Ya Qayyum, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim. Ya Allah, we ask you to accept our siyam, Ya Allah. We ask you to accept our qiyam, Ya Allah. We ask you to accept our Quran recitation, Ya Allah. We ask you to accept our Quran listening, Ya Allah. We ask you to accept our zakah, Ya Allah. And we ask you to bless all of that for us, Ya Rabbal Alameen. The little that is blessed by you, Ya Allah, is a lot, Ya Rabbal Alameen. And the lot that's not blessed by you is nothing, Ya Allah. So we ask you to bless us and bless our lives, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, there are people who are suffering with diseases and illnesses, and you are the only one who heals, Ya Allah. So we ask you, Ya Allah, we turn to you only for complete healing, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Ya Allah, for complete shifa, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Allah, for complete cure, Ya Rabbal Alameen. You are the only one who gives that. Make our lives better lives, Ya Allah. Make our living better living, Ya Allah. Make our living happier living, Ya Allah. Make our living more comfortable living, Ya Allah. Make our living a living of presence, not a living of absence, Ya Allah. A living of dhikr, not a living of forgetfulness, Ya Allah. A living around those righteous, Ya Allah, who when we forget, they point us to you. They guide us to you, Ya Allah. And make us ourselves guides to you, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Ya Akram al-Akrameen, our parents, Ya Allah, who passed away, forgive their sins, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Pardon them, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Our fathers and our mothers, Ya Allah, grant them Jannatul Firdaus, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, remember them in the way that's suitable to you, like they used to remember you, as you said, اذكروني أذكركم يا رب العالمين. اذكرهم يا ربي بما يليق بك يا أكرم الأكرمين. Ya Allah, grant them Jannah, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. Ya Allah, grant them forgiveness, Ya Allah. Ya Allah, keep your rahmah coming onto them, Ya Rabb al-Alameen, until Qiyamah, Ya Allah, for all that they have done for us, and all they have guided us, and all they have struggled for us, Ya Rabb al-Alameen. And everyone, Ya Allah, in your creation who helped us in any way who pushed us in any way towards good, give them Jannatul Firdaus, Ya Allah, and bless their lives, Ya Allah. For those people who we cannot repay for what they have done, Ya Allah, you repay them in the most handsome way possible, Ya Rabbal Alameen. For those people, Ya Allah, who we have done wrong, enable us to correct that, Ya Allah, and help us pay that off, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, Ya Arham al-Rahimeen. Ya Allah, make our days our last days, Ya Allah. And the best time is when we meet you, Ya Akram al-Akrameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen, do not take us from this dimension except you are completely pleased with us, Ya Allah. Except you are entirely pleased with us, Ya Allah. Ya Rabbal Alameen, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, give us the honor again to be in the presence of your Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in his blessed city, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, and enable us to have that neighborhood of Rasulullah sallallahu ta'ala alayhi wa ala alihi wa sallam. Grant us the honor of never being separable from him in this dunya before the akhirah, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, and grant us the honor to be in his majlis, Ya Akram al-Akrameen, fi jannatil firdausi, Ya Rabbal Alameen. Allahumma ighfir lana dhunubana wa israfana fi amrina. ربنا إنك عفو كريم تحب العفو فاعف عنا. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وآله والحمد لله رب العالمين.